hear and you speak that you know that you are eternal beings. There is this goal-setting mechanism that many of you have been on for so long that says, here I am, but there I will be. And then there's this built-in discomfort till I get there. Some underlying discomfort about not quite being there. And we want you to want to go there so that you stay pointed in the right direction, but we are all forward-moving, forward-looking, forward-reaching. That's what eternity is.
I'm returning to the place of my birth. I'm returning to the belly of the earth. Back from the future to heal my hurt. As I look within, I begin my search. Yeah, I took a dose and I found my hope. The medicine is better when it helps me cope. I took a dose and I found my hope, because the medicine is better when it helps me cope. Yeah, who am I? I am you. Back to the essence, remain true. Bask in the presence, chosen few, and out of sight for the truth with my mind renewed. You never find what I'm seeking in school or church. Religion is deceiving, but I started there first. Doctrines of demons and the pain got worse. Find the ancient path to reverse the curse, and I return. I return. I return. I return.
I return to the fire, which is higher, from which we burn. I return to that fire, which is higher, from which we burn. I return to that fire, which is higher, and from which we burn. I return.
So feeling when I'm barefoot earthing, searching as a child I'm learning, receiving revelation that my spirit is bursting. My past and present is at one merging. Through love and understanding, we find our minds expanding. With the use of the drum and joyous dance, and return to your birth through sacred chanting. Home.
I return to the fire, which is higher, and from which we burn. I return. I return to the fire, which is higher, and from which we burn. I return. I return to the fire, which is higher, and from which we burn. I return. I return to the fire, which is higher, and from which we burn. I return. I return, fearless, no longer faceless, in the matrix, soulless and saintless. Instead, I return to regain this integrity that takes us beyond limitations and graceless ways of being amidst the chaos, and return to the painless inner sanctum of the nameless. I return from ancient portals, from beyond being mortal, and arrive ready to heal, ready to thrive, resurrected after a society too contrived and worlds of media that lie. I reincarnate with rhythms on high, and I arrive at the beat that reminds us of where we come from and why. I return, fearless of this bliss. Now I don't resist, don't raise a fist, just drop into the deep abyss, and this time and space, ready to take my place, is amongst the sun, amongst the one, the design that reminds us of where we come from and where we will return. I return to the fire, which is higher, from which we burn. I return to that fire, which is higher, from which we burn. I return to that fire, which is higher, and from which we burn. I return. I return to the fire, which is higher, and from which we burn. I return. I return to the fire, which is higher, and from which we burn. I return. I return to the fire, which is higher, and from which we burn. I return. I return to the fire, which is higher, and from which we burn. I return to the oneness we all share. Peace in our hearts, rise everywhere. Regardless of where we come from, we dream under the same moon, born under the same sun. I return to the oneness we all share. Peace in our hearts, rise everywhere. Regardless of where we come from, we dream under the same moon, born under the same sun.
In time, with a little bit of practice, all of you will reach this place where you'll get so hooked on this feeling of alignment that you're just not willing to move outside of it no matter what. No matter how good the statistics look, no matter how good the spiel that's offered, no matter what the outside circumstances are, you'll just get to the point where you'll say, wait a minute, I have this guidance system that's been calculating my path, and so we like what we feel from you as you say, I'm loving this journey, and I'm loving the way it is unfolding for me. And I know that I'm always in the right place, and I know that it's an evolving place. And now life is always good. And then, isn't it fun to watch things begin to unfold and say, oh yes, that feels just right. Oh yes, that feels just right. Oh yes. I've been looking for you. I've been expecting you. I've been anticipating you. I knew you were coming. I could feel you on my doorstep. I knew you were coming. Here you are, and you're as beautiful as I thought you would be. About all things. Yes.
To the fire, which is higher, and from which we burn. I'll return to the fire, which is higher, and from which we burn. I'll return.
That is the amazing Truseeker. Truseeker.com. Check it out. It is Spark the Gvibe Sunday. And before I even get going with this, I got to tell y'all, every once in a while, I've been doing this for so long that every once in a while, I need to absolutely blow it or mess up something so that I can remember how human I am. So right now, at this very same time, the incredible Blossoming Soul Sisters are on with a full moon experience, which is happening right this very second. And then please feel free to jump over there. I normally do this at 7. And anyway, I'm doing it at 6. And now it's at the same time. And oh my God, because that's what you call a blooper. Oops. Without further ado, though, I do have a reason that I'm doing this special Spark the Gvibe Sunday. Spark the Gvibe, your gratitude vibration. Who are you grateful for, by the way? Tonight is Steve Weber. Steve is this extraordinary gentleman who just sort of appeared in my life suddenly. And I'll let him tell the story. I'm going to bring him on. And he's starting a show tomorrow morning, bright and early, California time anyway, American Gumption. And it is absolutely brilliant. You're going to love this. So let's bring Steve up. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Debbie G.
Welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. And dude, did you hear what I did?
Yeah, you scheduled the overtop of the other show, and I'm so new, I don't even know all the shows, and I'm learning. And
right.
Here you are throwing me in there bright and early tomorrow morning.
Yeah, completely. Because what happened is that Steve got a hold of me on his birthday, which was, if I remember correctly, wasn't that July 7th?
July 7th. Yep.
July 7th. And you'd also written down somewhere that on your birthday, you were going to be launching your show, American Gumption.
Yeah. So I launched the website on July 7th. And so, yeah, I had been planning this American Gumption thing for a year. And I finally said, I've got to put it out there and let the world know about it. So I picked July 7th, which was my birthday, and it was about 2 weeks out. And I was like moving along and getting closer and closer and closer. And I said, I just need a deadline. We need deadlines. And so I go ahead and do that. And then that night, completely independent of launching the site, and I'm interacting with all kinds of people as a result of launching the site and it being my birthday. And so lots of great things are happening. But then that's how we met. Like it was just kind of one of those, it was a quirk.
It was a quirk. And because I tell the truth about everything. And that's just who I am. I'm always like, this is how it works. So you guys know I've been single a long time. And I thought, well, I'll check out Tinder. Now, mind you, I don't put any descriptions in. I'm not paying for the service. All I did was throw a couple photos up, and the photos I had handy. Well, I said, Spirituality Gone Wild was best. They know what the hell I do before they ever come and talk to me, because dear golly only knows once you do. I mean, I could be talking like an alien. So anyway, Kim, you're going to love this. Seriously. And hi, Lynn. Hi, you guys. So I get this message from this cool guy named Steve Weber. Sorry, my phone keeps. Did you just see that? My phone. Anyway.
I thought we talked about we were going to keep the phones down so that they didn't disturb us.
I normally I just do that. Am I? So I'm going to answer that in a second. That is Michaela wanting. So I have been such a busy little girl planning some stuff behind the scenes, you guys, that I'm dropping some balls right now, and I'm going to promise you that juggling too many balls, you're going to drop some. So the way I look at it is, oh well. So Steve reaches out to me, y'all, and I'm like, seems pretty cool. Seems like a nice guy. We start talking, and he starts telling me this story, and I'm going to just now hand this over to you, Steve, and let's talk about this story about why American Gumption, why Forrest Gump, and then we're going to talk about the lessons you've learned from Forrest Gump and how that you plan on using that to teach.
Yeah. So the story starts many years ago, 1981, the fall of 1981, and I'm minding my own business, not bothering anybody, and people start saying, "Hey, you look like the guy from Bosom Buddies," and I'm like, "I do? Ah, that's cool." But then I'm like, "Well, who is this guy?" And I said, "Who is this guy?" And they go, "I don't know. He's the guy from Bosom Buddies." So that goes on for a while. And then finally we figure out it's Tom Hanks. And then all through the 80s, people would say every time I go out anywhere, "Hey, has anyone ever said you look like Tom Hanks? Hey, do you know who you look like?" And so this keeps happening. And I didn't really believe it, because you look at pictures and you don't necessarily think you look like somebody. But anyway, it just happened so many times. So for Halloween in 1994, I actually was a guy who liked dressing up and pretending to be someone else. That was fun, Halloween. I don't know about you, but when I put on a costume in Halloween, I was like a little braver than I would have been as just Steve. And so I would go out there and I would have fun on Halloween. I'd be a little crazier than I normally was. So anyway, bought the costume, or I got the costume, the Forrest Gump costume, and put it together and thought that was the end of it. Okay, 1994. And then in a year and a half later, in March of 1996, I'm minding my own business once again. And I find out they're opening the Gvibe Gump Shrimp Company in Monterey, and I'm living in San Jose. And so I had one of those moments where I said, I have to reach out to these people. And the one piece of the story I didn't mention was that I had started to say to people, well, people would say, "Hey, have you ever thought of making money off of this?" And I had heard that so many times and it became kind of a boring conversation to have, that when people said, "Hey, do you know who you look like?" I said, "Yeah, Tom Hanks. I'm going to make some money off of this." And I probably said that 100 or a couple hundred times. And now I suddenly had this moment of truth where I was like, am I going to call these people, and am I going to reach out? And I did. And they hired me, and
wow,
for them for 20 or for 15 years. So.
Oh my God. Can I just will you just tell me your favorite moment with that? I mean, I know you have a lot of them, but I mean, you were on the news, you've been on all kinds of stuff at this point, but I got to know your favorite moment.
Oh gosh. So many moments. There was, and yeah, there was a lot of, there was a lot of TV things and things like that I did. They were fun, and that was great for the ego. But what was actually the best moment was just sitting on the bench, interacting with people. I loved people. And so I had the perfect job for 15 years. I sat on a bench in front of the restaurants. Monterey and San Francisco were my home stores, and I worked 3 days a week, and I would sit there for 5 hours at a time, and I would just interact with people the whole time. And I got to be very good at it, and it was a lot of fun. And I'd say some of the favorite moments were when I would be in character and I'd be going along, and somehow I would just completely lose it and start laughing, and people would, because it was just fun. It was just fun. People loved it. So we had a great time, and I don't know. I mean, there's lots of moments we could talk about, but interacting with the people. And what was funny was people would say, "Oh, I wish I looked like somebody," and I would say, "Yeah, it's great." But what really, I loved meeting people. And so you could look like somebody But if you didn't like meeting people, this would not been a very fun job for you to do. And what's really funny about that, Debbie G, is as I'm telling certain people about what I'm doing, and they're like, "You're going to talk to people on the internet and have a show? That would not be any fun for me to do." And I'm like, "Really? Well, I'm just going to go have fun with it." So anyway, that's it's just, people, different strokes, different folks. We got to find our own little niche and what we're good at. And I was very good at sitting and talking to people. And so American Gumption became my brainchild the last year or so, where I needed to go back out in the world and do something, because I was hiding in Montana for the last 10 years, kind of recovering from the being somebody else every 3 days a week, kind of this alter ego. And it was really cool. And people would say, "Do you ever get mixed up? Do you ever forget who Steve is and who Forrest is?" And I would say, "Oh no, I've got it all straightened out. I've got it all figured out. I'm Forrest on the weekend, and then I'm Steve the rest of the time." And when I got to Montana and I started doing some soul work and some personal development work, I realized that I was pretty confused and and lost my identity to a certain degree. So it took a few years of doing a lot of writing, a lot of figuring out where I wanted to go with this, and then about a year ago, I just realized that my time in Montana was over and it was time to go back out in the world. And now I was ready to go do this. And so American Gumption was born. And the idea initially was that I was just going to get in an RV and travel around the country for the next 4 to 7 years. And I would meet people and I would interview them, and I'd set up a tripod and, create these little video interviews. And maybe I'd use the character a little bit here and there, but primarily it would be Steve doing his thing. So that was kind of how it was the original vision. So and then I landed, I got rid of everything in Montana, did not get the RV, but I ended up back with some family in Pennsylvania, which is where I'm at now. And so it's been a great time to reconnect with my family and where I was born and spent the first 21 years of my life. And I'm getting ready to go. And so I'm putting together all this plan. And then I realized that, it's kind of a weird time. I don't know if you've noticed, but, people are sheltering in place. And so anyway, I thought I need to start this virtually. I can't really, I'll get out there eventually and I'm not worried about that, but I need to start doing some more interviewing. And then, as if the universe delivers, you and I meet, and really,
let's stop right there, because Steve, look, the fact of the matter is I don't do online dating. I've talked to people, but I don't, and I don't even tell me. Did I fill anything out on Tinder at all?
No, but you, and normally I wouldn't. Normally, I have rules about who I reach out to. If you don't have a profile filled out, if you're lame and you can't even write a description about yourself, I'm not interested, unless you're really hot and
unless you're WG, right? Unless you or you're putting spirituality gone wild.
Yes, but that was. And I had done all this. I had been doing all this work, development work on my, and studying and spiritual work on myself. And so it was funny when we met and we started talking about this. I felt a little intimidated because I've been a great student the last 10 years, but I didn't necessarily know if I was really ready to teach. I felt like I was ready to entertain, but was I ready to teach? And so I remember having a conversation and you saying, "Hey, it's spirituality gone wild. It's wild. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to do it the way these folks do it."
Right.
So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then I was like, yeah, I can do it my way. And so anyway, I'm very, very excited because this is the perfect way for me to launch American Gumption. American Gumption is still going to happen out there. I'm going to go out there and those will be more video intensive. These are going to be more interviews and I'll just develop my own style. And I'm just grateful that you and the rest of the team have said, "Hey, come on in. Hey, the water's warm. Jump on in there, young man."
Yep. Well, actually, it is. I really want, whoever's watching right now and whoever watches on the replay, and thank you, Kim, you crack me up, to realize something, that literally the dude just like put it in place. I wouldn't normally have went to Tinder, but apparently that's the way the universe is humorous at that. So it's gonna line everything up in the weirdest freaking ways possible. I mean, it was just hilarious, and the chances, I say hi to everybody. I'm pretty cool about that. It doesn't usually last too long, quite frankly, because let's face it, I speak alien. You've talked to me a few times. You know damn good and well I speak alien, don't you?
But I understood what you're talking about.
He does get what I'm talking about, but it's alien, and I know that. Anybody else out there speak alien? It's just a thing, right? And if you're single and you're out there, but anyway, the point about this is really about setting intention, about really making your mind up, about making a decision. People, oh, I've been manifesting and I've been praying for this to happen. Well, try thanking God, the universe, source, whatever you subscribe to, being in gratitude for where you sit right at this very moment. But then what really in my world, what I see, what it happens when I see manifestations like this happen, is because you've made a decision. It's because you've decided you want something. You decided, this is what I want. I'm going to do this. And you go for it with faith, with surrender, without an attachment to the outcome, with allowing the flow and the natural ebb and flow, actually, of life to happen, and creation to happen, because creation can't happen unless you're allowing and the flow is there. So that's exactly what this experience is like, which is why it's so important to really talk about authentically how that I met him, besides the fact it's funny as hell. I mean, let's face it. But I mean, Steve, I kind of think that your life is pretty weird and funny anyway. I mean, look how you joined forces with Bubblegum Shrimp.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's rad, dude. Like, you live in San Jose or however it went, and they're in Monterey.
Yeah.
I mean, Jiminy Crickets too. I mean, let's face it, Monterey is gorgeous. Jesus.
I got to spend every weekend in Monterey for the better part of 10 to 15 years. So yeah, pretty lucky. Here's the other weird part about that, Debbie, is that they opened their first restaurant in Monterey, 75 miles south of where I was living. So an easy enough, you can get in the car and drive there, and it was reasonable. And then the second restaurant they opened was in San Francisco, 50 miles to the north of me. And what if they had opened, like the third restaurant they opened, I forget, maybe it was Chicago or it was Maui. And so then to Chicago, and then New Orleans, and then Miami. And so if any of those had been first or second, this would have never happened. But the fact that the first two were these within this like range that I was able to get to. And yeah, and so that was the universe working, and that worked for 15 years. Now, it became a routine where I had to just fit into a very narrow box or sit on a very 8-foot wide bench, and that became my home, and that was what I did. People loved it, I loved it, and it was great. But this is great because it's going to stretch me in a new way, and we can still bring in some of the fun stuff that we did with Gump in the Gumption. So
I think that actually, isn't that brilliant, you guys? American Gumption. I mean, it's actually quite ingenious, if you ask me. So prior to us starting, you sent me a couple things to talk about here, and I like this. And normally I just wing it, but I like this a lot. 3 lessons from the movie Forrest Gump. Oh, I'm ready for this. Oh,
ooh, yeah. This is really what it's all about. Gosh, I have a video series that I produced last year that was 94 life lessons. So there's a lot of life lessons from the movie. So I had to break it down to 3. So the feather floats out of the sky and lands at the foot of Forrest Gump. And what does Forrest do? He reaches down and picks it up. That's the way the movie begins. Well, the feather is the opportunities that come into our lives. And they kind of come in like magic. It's not like we're expecting them, although with all the work that I've done the last few years in the law of attraction, I actually realized that we are drawing those feathers right to us. But so often in life we are surprised, and I look at us meeting as a feather. And so it's an opportunity. It shows up. So that's the first lesson. Number 2 is the chocolate box. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going. Life is like a box. There he is. He's sitting right back. Whoops. He's sitting right back. Whoops. I'm learning how to do this.
There he is.
I got to learn how to do backwards. Anyway, Forrest is sitting on the bench with the chocolate box. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So I've been speaking for the last 10 years and, talking about it. So it just, I had to kind of flip this all around and come up with a better, like life is like a box of chocolates. We never know what we're going to get. Are we victims? And that's a pretty good thing for a mama to say to a 5 or 6 year old boy who is experiencing difficulties. But here's the reality. Life is like a box of chocolates. You get to choose whatever chocolate you want, and you get to choose whatever life you get. And not only do you get to choose, you do choose, because whatever is coming to us is what we're choosing. So life is like a box of chocolates. You get to choose whatever one you want. You get to choose whatever chocolate. You get to choose whatever life. So that's the second one. And the third one is actually the most fun part to talk about, because it just goes on and on and on and on. And that is the fact that we have life chapters and we have a life journey. And I have a nice little graph that I show, and I'll be showing that on my show and teaching about that. But Forrest was a boy, and then he was high school, and then he went to college and played football, and then he went in the Army, and then he got shot in the buttocks and played ping pong. And am I allowed to say that word on Spirituality Gone Wild?
Butt talks, honey. You could say pretty. There are no rules on spirituality.
That's right. It's wild. You're wild. That's right. So anyway, it's just like, that's all the movie is a life. It's the story of a man, and all it is chapters. He's a child. He's in high school. He's in the college. He's in the Army, and then he becomes a shrimp boat captain. And up until that first point, he just would follow a feather that took him from one chapter to the next chapter. And then when he left the Army and he became a shrimp boat captain, that was the first time in his life that he really made a proactive choice where he said, I'm going to go do this. Everything else just sort of magically appeared. And that's the way our lives are, Debbie. When we're young, when we're, our first jobs out of high school, we just do whatever, we can. I mean, something happens and a feather shows up and we pick it up and we do it. And then something else happens. And so many people go through their entire lives and they just sort of keep picking up whatever's right in front of them. But what happens when we get to the point where we become intentional, where we go, no, I'm not going to pick up that feather. In fact, I'm going to get rid of this feather. And that's what I did this like in a big way last year when I said, I got to get out of Montana. I got to go back out in the world. I loved Montana, but a friend of mine said, this is kind of the Montana thing. I'm jumping all over. I got a little ADD. So it's people are going to have to get used to that, where we go from topic to topic. A friend of mine said, Steve, I feel like you're running away. And I went home and I thought about it. And this is still in Montana. And this is when I said I'm leaving. And I said, no, I'm not running away. I'm running towards. So it was time for me to go back out in the world and, do this. So, and I didn't know what was going to happen, right? You set the intention, and we just know that it's all going to work out well. And, it's like, Tuesday will be 4 weeks since we met, and here we are already starting the show. Now I was obviously ready to go and do this. I had been preparing for this, not for this show, but for something, like this. And so I'm, it's just, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun.
Well, I'm going to get woo-woo on you, because I'll tell you what about feathers. Feathers appearing are an angelic reminder that the angelic realm, the energy of the angels is with you. It's also a reminder that you're on the right path. Do you see a lot of the same numbers, like 444, 1212, 1111, blah, blah, blah?
77. That's my
77.
Yeah.
77. I mean, there you go. It's a master number. So you guys, but do you really feel the essence of what's happened here? This is what it looks like when you just make a decision and you do what you love, and when you do what you love, it finds a way to everything finds a way to work itself through, and it's absolutely amazing. You know, the chocolates, I got to tell you. So I always say, because like, have you ever had those big box of chocolates and you take a bite out and you don't like it? I always just put it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it is a box of chocolates and you get to eat whichever one you want. In my case, I'll take a bite. I try each one. I don't like it. I don't want any more. Thank you very much. So yeah, I love that. And thank you. Kim sees numbers like that all the time. And feathers every day. Yep, yep, yep. But the feathers are, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I've had feathers pop up, like, where could this have possibly have came from? Just absolutely extraordinary stuff. Okay, so let's see. What else can we talk about to get prepared for tomorrow? What does it mean to function with gumption?
So function with gumption. So, well, this is funny. After the Forrest Gump days with Bubba Gump were coming to an end, I had said, I'm going to become a speaker. I'm going to develop a motivational message. And I wanted to talk about personal responsibility. And I remember I had a guy who coached me, and he said, nobody will ever hire you to talk about personal responsibility. And I was like, okay. Well, you must be an expert. And really, and I said, well, I'm going to talk about gumption then. And I'm going to make gumption mean personal responsibility. And so anyway, I ended up inventing what gumption means. Gumption in the dictionary means common sense or determination and fortitude. So someone who has gumption doesn't quit. They just keep going. They figure things out. They figure out a way to get it done. So that's kind of what gumption traditionally means. And I redefined gumption with capital G, gumption, to mean personal responsibility. And it means taking responsibility for the way you think, for your thoughts, the way you act, your actions, and the way you interact with others. So responsibility, taking 100% personal responsibility for your thoughts, for your actions, and for your interactions with others. Well, if you do that, you're not allowed to blame. You're not allowed to, be mad at the other person, because that's, because it's you. It's like, you got to be responsible for the way your interactions go with others. And it all starts with the thinking. So function with gumption is when you are living your life intentionally and taking that responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and interactions. And I got a real cool graph that a chart that shows, and I explain that. So I'll be talking about that this week on the show, and kind of laying a foundation for what gumption is, and then what some of the life lessons from the movie are. And then we'll talk about all those other 94 life lessons, and we'll keep tying it back to taking responsibility. And we're going to just have a lot of fun. We're going to have guests. We're going to have a lot of guests come on. And so, yeah, I think you're going to be a guest.
I am. I'm going to be a guest on Tuesday, and you're going to put me in the hot seat. Yeah. And I cannot wait for that. So, you guys, tomorrow morning, what time is you starting at 7 my time?
7 West on the West Coast, Pacific time, 7 a.m. and 10 o'clock where I'm at on the East Coast. So I get to sleep in and, have some coffee and wake up. You folks on the West Coast, we're going to get you out of bed early and get you going. I
love that. This is going to be so much fun. So, let me tell you guys what's happening. If you go to Spiritual,
this is a big week, Debbie.
It's a big week because it's going to end on a Saturday on 8/8 Lionsgate. Not only is it 8/8 Lionsgate, but it's Spirituality Gone Wild's 3rd anniversary. Now, I've said that, Steve, do you know that I did not pick 8/8 as a date to start Spirituality Gone Wild because it was Lionsgate? It just happened this way. Really trippy kind of things happen in life. It's just like, wow, that's just so cool. So I decided this year we're going to have a knockdown, drag out, slam it, boom, Debbie G style. We're going to have a party.
Yeah.
And I've done these Mystic Mixers live, and they're a freaking blast. And we're going to do it online. Okay, guys? 8/8, what you're going to get is, it's actually going to be 6 hours now. It's an all-day affair. We're starting at 10. We're
It's a
starting.
party.
Yeah. Well, I have a show on Unify now with Women Rising, and we have what we're doing is we are simulcasting on Unify. If you guys haven't ever checked out Unify, please go check out Unify. It's just an incredible, incredible channel. So we're going to go live with Summer Raymer, who's live right now. She's one of the Blossoming Soul Sisters who's on the show with Karen Palmer at this very second. So she's starting off at the pre-party at 10 a.m., dancing and singing and grooving and all that fun stuff with the Sign Network on Unify. It's seriously killer. Then if you're a spiritual entrepreneur, you've ever even thought about being a spiritual entrepreneur, or you just want to chill and hang out with us behind the scenes and just kind of get to know everybody behind the scenes, then what you do is you go over to the event page and you can see the schedule. I just put everybody's schedule in of who's speaking when and what's happening, but you're going to get to go to breakout rooms with us. 1 minute of telling us who you are and what you need in your business, and all of us getting to connect together and meet each other. Okay. If you're a Sign member, it's $11. If you're a general admission, it's $22, or it's free right here on Spirituality Gone Wild. You just don't get to go to the breakout rooms, which would kind of suck for you because that's where you want to be. That's where the fun is. And then afterwards, Peter Melton is having the after party over on The Conversation. So that is where the Plow Zone will be tearing it up with some more rock and roll. Kim, you're in. I love that. Go sign up, baby girl. Yep. Go sign up. The event page is live and handy dandy. Oh, did I mention we're doing giveaways, Steve?
We have giveaways?
We have giveaways, yeah.
Oh,
we have giveaways, and
I've got giveaways. Oh, wait a minute. I might even be giving away something. Who knows?
I think you are. Right now we have a gift from Peter Melton, and that is a session with him. We have David Strickle, the Stream of David, a 1-hour session. Now, if y'all the Stream of David, if you've been watching Spirituality Gone Wild, because he's been with us for 2 years, that is awesome. And we have Karen's giving away her book, and Josie, I believe, is giving a session, and you all know I'll do a Rock Your Spark session as well. So we're giving away virtual things that are fun and things like that. And we're also doing virtual swag bags for the first 100. So y'all want to get a swag bag like the Oscars and some shit.
And virtual swag bags are better because you don't actually end up with the bag that you have to figure out what to do with a year later.
Right. Well, yeah, we have to just get really creative with this whole thing. So it's going to be one hell of an anniversary party on Lionsgate, ready to rock and roll, you guys. And I'm going to teach you how to do some of the things that I do behind the scenes to keep all of this going and flowing. You're also going to hear some of the best presenters, you guys. Oh my God. And tomorrow morning, I can't tell you who I've got a meeting with, but I have a meeting with someone very special. And if this someone very special gives me a yes for tomorrow, which I've heard through the grapevine it is, but we'll see, I will be announcing that later on. Okay? Is
it like somebody we might have heard of maybe before?
Oh yeah, it's somebody y'all heard of. In fact, it's somebody that was on that was on Spirituality Gone Wild earlier today. Yeah, she's on a lot. So I just see what her schedule is.
Sounds like a big deal to me.
You know what? It is a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal because all of us pulling together and co-creating is what this is about, and I want to help us all do that. So oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, those that do go and buy the ticket are getting their first month of Spirituality Gone Wild membership for free. I've got to go add that in, Steve. I keep forgetting I'm giving away their first month away for the people who buy the ticket. And I'm like, I keep totally flaking that off. Okay, so I'll add that in, you guys, because that's super important. And why? Because we have a book club that we're going to start with the Power of 8 and get Lynn McTaggart. She's going to come and give us some one-on-one time privately in our Spirituality Gone Wild membership. Plus, you get special stuff from the host all week long. And my God, I'm beginning to sound like a damn infomercial.
Yeah, but you mentioned the Spirituality Gone Wild membership, but you just sort of blasted right by it, and people I don't even think really know what that is.
Yeah, we really haven't talked about it a whole lot. Right now, it's being built behind the scenes,
Yeah,
and
it's coming
yeah,
up. It's going
yeah,
to be great.
we're gonna have 3 different tiers: $5, $10, $20. Everybody can play with, but the premium is what anybody who's getting a ticket's getting the premium package, and yeah, it's going to be cool because it's going to give me a chance to actually meet the viewers behind the scenes one on one,
Right.
and get more one on one time, which I love. Rather than just when I do my workshops and things like that. So I'm totally excited about that.
It's kind of like you're sitting on the bench having a conversation with them.
Yeah,
It's kind of
go
like that.
kind of like that.
I like that.
Kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Thank you. Whoever shared that out, it says Facebook user, I love you. Shared with love. You're awesome. Sometimes it doesn't tell me who it is, just says
Oh,
Facebook user.
yeah.
So, you guys, tomorrow morning, log in at 7 a.m. Please go and look at the event page for Spirituality Gone Wild. Check out the schedule. Seriously, it's an awesome schedule. And look for some more awesomeness to be happening tomorrow at 7 o'clock because we have American Gumption.
Yeah. One of the things that I wanted to do was try to have the other host come on, like, for maybe a minute or two, and just sort of talk about what they're like. If it's Thursday and Saf's going to be doing his show on Thursday night, what if like every week he just popped in for like a minute and just said, "Hey, here's what's happening," and the other host that did maybe not every time every week, but on a regular basis, I think that'd be a pretty cool thing to include with American Gumption.
Well, I think that's really nice of you to do that because it's very considerate of our other hosts. And right there, in a nutshell, is collaboration.
Yeah.
And when we are creative together and we're collaborating, and this is what that looks like. So, I want to just say a huge gratitude moment to you, Steve, for being willing to jump into Spirituality Gone Wild. I want to say I love y'all. Go sign up for our event. Seriously, it's going to be insane. Speed dating, well, not dating, but speed networking style.
Yep.
Speed networking style is what the breakout rooms are going to be like. So it's going to be tremendous fun, not to mention all the entertainment and all of the presentations that are going to be going on all day long. It's going to be absolutely blitzkrieg.
It's going to be awesomeness. So in the
Absolutely.
meantime, I've got to try to like figure out how to use this platform and stream and do my first 5 shows between now and then. So I'm kind of juggling a few things, but not as many as you, Debbie G, because I've been like peeking behind the scenes and watching, and like you have like 7 or 8 or 10 balls up there at one time. So you are doing an awesome job. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this great organization, and we're going to rock it. So let's go have fun.
Rock it. Yeah. Love it. And you guys, please go check out the Blossoming Soul Sisters. They're still on right now, and go get your full moon groove on, like for real. Steve will see you tomorrow morning. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and go get your tickets. I love you. And yes, Kim, I love you. Mwah, I see that. Thank you, sweetheart. You're so damn sweet. Oh my God. All right, guys. Peace.